Why do you feel that way?
So these are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You gotta speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no.
No.
It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is. Yeah, they just tried to pay me $20 to wear a free fucking shirt.
Stop. I could tell because
The lady right there, she just kept convincing me to go wear a shirt, and I'm like, I'm good.
so just $20, and if you need $20, all you have to do is wear a free puff shirt.
And just stand out here.
And you said no.
Yeah, I said no.
Did they say how many hours?
$20 an hour. And she told me she got paid like $60 yesterday for standing out here for 3 hours.
Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and viewer discretion is advised. Today the Sauce will be discussing the ongoing legal proceedings of Sean P. Diddy Combs, including analysis of publicly available court transcripts and other relevant material. While some of the content may be graphic or sensitive in nature, it is presented in a responsible manner to provide context and understanding of the case. All discussion falls within the guidelines set by YouTube, which permits coverage of current events, legal proceedings, and public interest stories when done in an educational, documentary, or journalistic context. Please note that commentary and opinions differ from facts and should not be taken as such. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey yo, thanks for tuning into The Source, your source for celebrity news. Okay, so the other day, Diddy's former assistant David James, Cassie's mother Regina Ventura, and exotic dancer and freak-off partner Shereé Hayes, aka The Punisher, took the stand. David James, Diddy's former assistant from 2007 to 2009, got up on that stand and testified that at times he would gather supplies for Diddy's hotel rooms, including items that prosecutors say were used for Diddy's freak-offs. James said that it was his job to make sure that Diddy's hotel rooms were stocked with the things that he needed, like his clothing, his toiletry bag, and his quote-unquote medicine bag, which often carried 25 to 30 pill bottles, including the X and the Perks. James also testified that even though he was only making $70K a year, Diddy sometimes had him working over 80 hours a week, which means that he would go in about 7 a.m., but he wouldn't finish his day until like 4 a.m. the next day. I mean, Diddy had this dude working to the bone. Diddy was over there like, I'm gonna work you to the bone, bone, bone. I'm gonna work you to the bone, bone, bone. You're gonna work to the bone. Anyhow, James also corroborated Cassie's story about Diddy and D-Rock going after Suge Knight with the Blickies. He also said that he once asked Cassie why she didn't leave Diddy, but Cassie told him that she couldn't leave because Diddy controlled everything. And then James also testified that a lot of Diddy's purchases, both legal and illegal, were often made off the books as per Diddy's request. James also testified that even though he felt an intense sense of purpose working for Diddy, after Diddy had him in a car driving around looking for Suge Knight and Diddy and them had the Blickies, he was like, listen, I'm out of here. You ain't paying me enough for this. Now, after James testified that Diddy was out in these streets looking for Suge like he was the Black Rambo, Diddy's defense team got up and they asked him, they were like, listen, aren't you receiving immunity for your testimony? And he was like, I don't know, maybe. I think I signed a proffer agreement. Alright, so up next came Cassie's mother, Regina Ventura, and she walked into that courtroom like a boss. I mean, she had that gray hair swinging. She was looking like she was in a Revlon commercial. And you could tell that Mama Bear did not come to court to play about her cub.
Watch your back. Watch your back.
Watch your back.
Come.
No, you're good. How are you feeling today?
After testifying about several instances of abuse that took place between Cassie and Diddy, including one incident where she had to jump up in Diddy's face because she was getting ready to get at him herself, but Diddy's security stopped her, Cassie's mom testified that not only did Diddy try to extort Cassie, but P. Diddy tried to extort the whole family. And boy, did Regina Ventura bring the receipts. Source, can you please put up Exhibit A? Cassie's mom said that in December of 2011, Cassie emailed her and CC'd Capricorn Clark, notifying both of them that Diddy threatened to release 2 explicit tapes of Cassie, one on Christmas and then another one shortly thereafter. Why? Because he found out that she was dealing with Kid Cudi. But what we realized is that Cassie's mom doesn't do he say, she say. Cassie's mom brings receipts that are longer than those CVS receipts that they be giving you with a billion coupons on them. Because while she was testifying to this fact, the prosecution put up the actual email that Cassie sent her mom and Capricorn, which read, Subject, threats. The threats that have been made towards me by Sean Puffy Combs are that he's going to release 2 explicit X tapes of me. One on Christmas Day, maybe before or right after, and another one sometime soon after that. He has also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Scott Mescudi physically. He made it a point to say that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said that he'd be out of the country when it happened. Cassie's mom also said that Diddy wanted the family to pay him $20,000 as a reimbursement for the money he spent on Cassie, and that they needed to wire the funds to Bad Boy. After Diddy demanded the $20K, Cassie's parents took out a home loan of $20,000 and wired the funds to a Bad Boy account after Diddy's assistant told them where to send the money. Now, after she got that bank account number and that routing number and she sent that money exactly where he told her to send that money, Cassie's mom said that about a week later, those funds mysteriously were returned back into her account. Now, after a bunch of people on social media heard what Cassie's mom had to say about the $20K, mad people were like, yo, what did Diddy need with $20K? Diddy ain't need no $20K. Listen, it's not about the fact that he needed $20K. What Diddy was trying to do is psychologically terrorize this family. Diddy knew exactly how much stress and anxiety that would cause Cassie's mother, and he did it on purpose. Why? Because he gets off on things like that. It's similar to the way that he went into Steve Stout's office when they used to be beefing back and forth because of the Nas video, and he put a whole box of scorpions in Steve Stout's office. So essentially, the $20K was Diddy's way of telling Cassie's mom that he's in control. And it also tells us that if he couldn't have whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted it, and how he wanted it from Cassie, he wasn't just going to go berserk and go scorched earth on Cassie. He was getting ready to go scorched earth on everybody around her, which is why he was over there acting like Joan Crawford in the movie Mommy Dearest when it came to the friend Kerry Morgan in a hangar. And this is exactly why when Andre Harrell fired Diddy back in the day, he nicknamed him Dennis the Menace, because Andre Harrell said this dude is always up to some sort of mischievous activity.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get! Yes! What's next? What's next? I gotta get it. I'm not gonna stay down. I'm not gonna stay lying down. I'm not. I can't do it, man. I can't do that. What's next? Give me something else. What can't you do? I can do it. I can do anything.
Now, the reason why Cassie's mom's testimony is so important is because bank records don't lie. And there's absolutely no reason under the sun why Cassie's family would have to take out a home loan for $20,000 on Tuesday and then wire those funds to Diddy over at Bad Boy on Wednesday unless Cassie's mother is up there telling the 100% truth. And here's the thing. Even though Diddy returned the money, the bank records still exist. And for all you people out there who are still like, yo, I still don't see the RICO. Oh my goodness, let me tell you something. What you need to do is call up your optometrist and go get your eyes checked. Because just based on this one exchange, we see how P. Diddy used his enterprise to help him carry out his corrupt activities. See, once the secretary over there at Bad Boy sends the banking and wire information to Cassie's mom, Diddy's company Bad Boy Entertainment is intertwined into his personal mess. Which is why, when Diddy's attorneys had the opportunity to cross-examine Miss Ventura, they were like, we have no questions. You know why? Because cross-examining Cassie's mom was a no-win situation. Alright, so then, after Cassie's mom got down off of the stand, the Punisher got up there. And the Punisher basically said that back in the day, he received a call from a woman named Janet. And Janet was like, listen, I want you to perform for me. So, he did the job. When he arrived at the hotel room where Janet told him that she wanted to meet, she showed up at the door wearing a robe and a wig. So, he went into the room and started doing what he does best, and that is dry hump. And for all you people who don't know the Punisher, let me tell you something. This dude is a master at the dry hump. Anyhow, while he's over there doing what he's doing to Janet, a mysterious man walks into the room. And even though he doesn't know at the time who this man is, the man starts producing what they're doing like he's Martin Scorsese. The Punisher basically said that if he would move to the left, the man would be like,
I like this right here.
And if he would move to the right, the man would be like, And if he did it just right, the man would be over there like, Alright, so y'all get the point. The Punisher basically said that at first he didn't know who Janet and the mysterious man were, but then one day when he got a call and he arrived at the hotel, he saw a sign that was saying, welcomed P. Diddy, and then it hit him, and he realized that it was Cassie and Diddy who were really Janet and the mysterious man. The Punisher said that he ended up doing what he was doing with Cassie and Diddy about 12 times, and that while he would do what he was doing, he often felt uncomfortable because Diddy was over there just staring. But as a consummate professional, he aims to make his clients happy, so he did what he needed to do. The Punisher also said that on the occasions where he saw Diddy and Cassie, Diddy was definitely in control. And even though Cassie seemed to enjoy it on most occasions, there were a few times when she winced. He also said that in his opinion, Cassie and Diddy weren't inebriated, but then he said, I really don't have that much experience with, people who are on stuff. Anyhow, the Punisher's testimony, even though it gave us a little bit more insight into the freak-offs, didn't really move the needle either way, meaning it didn't really support Diddy or Cassie. But what it did do is allow the Punisher the opportunity to promote his new book, Freezer Meat, which I am quite sure is a literary masterpiece. Anyhow, that ended testimony on day 7, and on day 8, the day kicked off with Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Gerald Ganon getting on that stand, and he was basically in charge of the March 24th raid on Diddy's home in Miami. Special Agent Ganon said that when they went into Diddy's home, they found a little bit of everything, including that METH that'll make you OD, man. During his testimony, Special Agent Ganon also unveiled some of the things that they found when they did a search of Diddy's master closet. They yielded some crucial pieces of evidence, including red high heel pumps, at least 18 pair, and a Balenciaga boot containing several cell phones. They also found a Gucci bag that contained some white powdery substance, which upon testing, tested positive for the cocaine and ketamine. The same pouch held a collection of various other packets and colored pills, some bearing a Tesla logo, and when the feds tested it, they found out that it was the MD and the Xannies. They also found a mysterious wooden box that had Puffy's name on it, and when they opened it, they found a crystal rock-like substance that Agent Ganon said tested positive for an hallucinogenic. But that wasn't it, because after they left out of Puffy's closet and they went into Puffy's bathroom, they continued to find more and more illegal substances. Puffy, Puffy, Puffy. Special Agent Ganon also testified that when they went into Diddy's house, they also found a bunch of weapons. But during cross-examination, the agent conceded that most of the weapons were taped up, unloaded, or even inoperative. The agent also said that the weapons with no serial numbers aren't necessarily untraceable because they can potentially be traced using other forensic methods like fingerprints, DNA, and fiber analysis. Listen, you know darn well as good as me that the feds have already got that stuff tested, tagged up, and bagged up. Furthermore, the special agent testified that when they went into Diddy's closet, they found an additional 25 bottles of baby oil, 31 bottles of Astroglide, and a rubber duck. And I know, you're sitting over there right now like, Sauce, what did you just say? You heard me. I said a rubber duck. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me keep it real. The special agent's testimony really hit me hard, and I'm gonna tell you why. Even though I feel that Diddy's guilty, I also feel a sense of mourning about this whole thing. Because come on, all of us who are around a certain age, we all came up together. Y'all know how it was. We were happy. We were all up in the tunnel listening to Slow Down, and we were like, slow down. Ba-da-ba-ba-boom. Wooly got a pair of my sneakers. Don't know where he got them because he hid them behind the speakers. Or we were up in a Palladium listening to Break, 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 Break for Love. Or we were somewhere in somebody's basement party grinding our little hearts out to Tiger in the place in the bomb bomb. Right before the DJ switched it up and we all started singing, I'm in love with a man nearly twice my age. Y'all know how it was. Then Diddy came on the scene and we were still having fun. So to sit here and see P. Diddy, who rose to the highest heights of hip-hop, just to turn around and become a common crackhead, it hurts. It really does. It hurts. Because when you think about it, let's just put all of the Cassie stuff aside. When you think about it, P. Diddy is a young black boy coming out of Harlem. And I mean, he's in the mean streets, but he makes it out. And he rises to the highest heights and he makes it to places where very few black men have ever been before. And what does he do? Instead of helping his community and doing the right thing, he throws it away for nothing. He basically rolled up all his gifts, successes, wealth, and his legacy into a doobie and puffed it all away into a pile of ash. And if you ask me, that's exactly why we all need to go back to calling this ninja Puffy, because he has successfully puffed it all away. Poof. And that's actually one place where I do agree with Diddy's defense team. I firmly believe that Diddy wouldn't even be going through all of the stuff that he's going through right now if Diddy hadn't gotten himself addicted to that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But where I vehemently disagree with Diddy's defense team is that I don't believe that the use of that stuff is any excuse for the stuff that he was out here doing. Because this ninja was out in these streets wilding, which is exactly why the prosecution then brought Dawn Hughes, a clinical and forensic psychologist, up to the stand. Because Dawn is an expert in high-profile abuse cases, and she's also testified as an expert witness for the trials of Keith Raniere, R. Kelly, and Johnny Depp. Dressed in a cream-colored suit, Dawn got up on that stand and shed light on the psychology of victims of abuse, particularly those in long-term relationships with their abusers. Her words, though not specifically aimed at Diddy's girlfriend Cassie, laid the basis for addressing the defense's contention that victims can escape abusive relationships. According to Dawn, some of the reasons that it's hard for people to leave when they're in these types of relationships is control over emotions, psychological dependence, and financial control. She says that all of these things too often result in people being silent and unable to leave when stuff is happening. Now, the prosecutors put Miss Hughes on the stand to explain their theory that the reason why Cassie couldn't leave is because emotional and psychological barriers instead of personal choice make it hard for individuals to leave when they're in harmful situations. Alright, so after Dawn Hughes gave her testimony, Diddy's defense attorneys got up and they were like, okay, Miss Hughes, how much is the prosecution paying you? And she was like, I'm making, $600 an hour. And they were basically like, okay. Which is actually disingenuous because everybody knows that all of these expert witnesses get paid because you have to pay them for their time, you have to pay them for their stay, you got to pay them for all types of stuff. And when they turn around and start doing their case in which they start putting on their own expert witnesses, they're all going to be over there getting paid too. Now, a whole lot of people on social media are like, yo, how come Cassie didn't just walk away? She should have walked away. Listen, apparently, you don't understand how some of these relationships work because, once again, it's not that easy. You saw what happened when she started dating Kid Cudi. This man literally extorted her whole family. I'm trying to tell you, some of you armchair psychologists on social media need to start understanding that everything's not black and white. Some things are 50 shades of gray. And if the closest thing that you've ever come to these types of relationships is watching a Tyler Perry movie on TV, then you need to gracefully keep your mouth shut. But while we're on this topic of why people keep going back, and a whole lot of people are like, yo, why did Cassie stay with him? And a lot of people are also like, Dawn Richards is shady because after she saw what he did to Cassie, she should have never worked with him. Let me ask you a question. Can we all agree that if somebody steals your money, that's a form of harm? And if somebody lies on you on the stand and has you locked up for 10 years for something that you didn't do, that's also a form of harm. So with that being said, let me ask you this. Why did Mace go back after Diddy stole millions of dollars from Mace and had his money sitting up in Janice Combs' bank account? Why did Shine go back after he had him sitting up in jail for 10 years? Why did Lorianne Gibson go back after he almost got her with the chair? Why did Total go back after he stole all of their money? Why did Mary go back after he was playing with her money too? And why did Little Kim go back after he didn't even send her 10 cents so that she could get some chips out of commissary when she was in jail? They all go back. So, to be online acting like Dawn Richard did something so strange because she continued working with him is crazy. I mean, for real, if you're gonna have that energy for one of them, have that same energy for all of them. Now, after the prosecution got done talking to Dawn Hughes, they brought out another one of Diddy's former assistants named George Kaplan. And George said that while he was working with Diddy, Diddy used to always threaten to fire him, with the rapper saying he only wanted the best employees possible, sometimes in a very motivational tone, but then other times in a very angry tone. Kaplan said that Diddy is very exacting in his demands, and he wants what he wants when he wants it and how he wants it done. For example, George Kaplan said that one of his duties was to unpack Diddy's bags when he traveled, and Diddy would like all of his toiletries to be facing the same direction. I mean, that baby oil better not be backwards. So, Kaplan said that it would often take him up to 30 minutes to organize Diddy's toiletries alone. Kaplan also testified that another one of his duties was to clean the hotel rooms after Diddy was there, because he said that if anyone got their hands on photos of the mess that Diddy left after he checked out, it could be embarrassing, and also those photos could potentially be sold to the tabloids. He also said that Diddy's rooms were often littered with liquor bottles and baby oil, and after Diddy left, on one occasion, he found a white powder near the sink. Kaplan said that packing Combs' medicine bag was also part of his job, and it was a lengthy challenge because of all the various pills, including Advil, Tylenol, and all the other stuff that we now know that Diddy was packing. George Kaplan also said that he recalls once accepting a delivery of MD blank A for Diddy in Miami. I am so confused, like, did it come in the mail, or did one stop, the rug dealer, stop by the house? You know something? I know darn well that all of these people work for Diddy are over there like, listen, when I submitted my resume to Bad Boy, I wasn't signing up for all of this. Anyhow, Diddy's former assistant George Kaplan's testimony brought the day to a close, and next, we're expecting Kid Cudi, aka Scott Mescudi, to take the stand. As a matter of fact, by the time this video gets to you, he might even be on the stand. So, I guess we can expect to hear a whole lot more about kidnappings and like cars burning up, and also Kid Cudi saying he kicked in the door waving the 4-4. All I said was, Diddy, don't hit me no more. Listen, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.